always have to mess about this. Any good? No. Not any good. Got my painter and decorator Adidas top on, splattered with all sorts of silicone. Very smart. Right, anyway. Gonna do a bit of racing on the Gran Turismo, as always, on the daily races. So this is daily race B, that's only just started today. So I'm going to go out in, enter this race, go out and do a few qualifying laps. Going to go in the Megane, because I've already checked out the leaderboards, and that's the fastest car that's been used for the fastest times from everyone. So we'll pick that, which is normally pretty wise. If there's a dominant car, all the fast times in the world have been got in, then you might as well pick that car and give yourself a decent chance of being quite fast. Even though it's not always the easiest car to drive when you see the fastest car in the world. You know what I mean. So I think it'll only be like 4 laps, maybe 3 laps, I'm not sure. I didn't quite look of Bathurst, but we'll see how we can do. So on my friends list, the 2:16 is the fastest so far, and on the world leaderboards, 2:11.6 is the quickest time. So we'll go check out the tyres. There's no other option than hard. We're in front wheel drive car, so I want to give the front wheels less to do by putting the brake balance to the back. And here we go. Don't mind Bathurst. A little bit weird, a little bit of a weird feeling through the wheel, but that's just, I haven't driven this car for ages. A little bit wide through hell. God, this feels quite slow. I know it isn't, but seems to build up the power very slowly. End feels really light. I've got a lot of feeling to the feedback. Get used to it shortly though, no doubt. Just trying to get some kind of reasonable time out of this first lap by just pushing where I know I can and being steady where I know I have to be, not risking too much. Quite long track is Bathurst, I won't get the most amount of qualifying laps, so I need to make sure that they count rather than ploughing it into the wall. Otherwise that's a good 2 minutes wasted if I hit the wall or do anything like that. Might as well get round slowly, but make sure I get round, if that makes sense. I do rush things, could give myself a lot more time in qualifying. You don't even have to enter the race straight away. You could do 3 hours of qualifying and then enter your first race. But I like to just jump in and give it a go, especially on a track that I know really well. So 2:13, it's not too bad. Fastest guy in the world, a 2:11.6 it was. So a little way off the quickest guys in the world, but not too bad for a first lap. On to the second lap, and I've gained a little bit of time through Hell Corner, so I'm up 0.2 of a second already. Hello, whoever's just joined me. Trying to Carry the speed, I've dropped a little bit of time into there, that's not good. I'll try and gain it over the mountain instead. Oh no, I've done the dreaded go out wide. Oh, I've ruined my lap there. In that case, just because I won't have time to do another flying lap otherwise, I'm going to restart and give myself another chance of getting a better qualifying time. Otherwise I just didn't have time to do another fast lap then. This way I'll still get a chance to do a fast lap just by restarting. So over the line into hell again. Trying to carry as much speed on the exit as possible, obviously. I'm going to look back at my ghost, it looks like I've pulled a little bit of time. Get the braking done nice and gently, but heavily at the same time. I know that sounds a bit of a contradiction, but kind of firmly, but not too heavy that you want to lock up or anything. Anyway, try and prevent that wheel spin that you always seem to get as the car goes a little bit light over that crest. Not the best into there, I had to lift a little bit, so I've lost a little bit of time through this sector because of that. Tap the wall a smidge. Feels quite slow, but I can't seem to get more time out of it. Just trying to keep it neat and tidy for the dipper. And coming down into the braking zone for Forest, Elbow, and then heading onto the longest straight on the track, Conrod. Don't know if they've improved, it's hard to tell when you restart to see that other delta time. I've got my little ghost behind me, but I'm not much in front of it. But it'd be still nice to make a little improvement, if not a big one. Trying to gain a better line to come out there, so saw my ghost overtake me into that corner, but crucially I got the line a bit wrong on the on that lap, so gained on the ghost by doing that. And there we go, a little bit of an improvement. The 13.3 in the end, and that's going to be my final qualifying time, since I'm going to run out of time before getting another lap in, which is annoying because I'm up on my time at the bottom there on my delta, 0.6 of a 0.06 600ths of a second. Nearly 7. Try and carry more speed in there, but it just got me a bit more understeer and lost a bit of time instead. So yeah, race is about to commence in a minute. We'll see where we come in qualifying. It's always good doing them first thing on a Monday morning, hint hint. Not that many people have actually are actually on, and most people are at work, so you actually get a chance to get decent qualifying. Even with the not a brilliant time, you might find yourself up there. So there you go. For example, no doubt later in the week that time will be absolutely terrible and they put me in like 16th place, but for now, first thing on a Monday morning, a 2:13.3 actually gains me first place, so on pole. Puts a little bit of pressure on though, because the guy behind is quite quick, and there's quite a few guys that are all in the 13s, so I have to be lapping pretty quickly to keep the pressure off. We'll see how we go, see if we can win one. Certainly giving myself a decent chance of winning. To be honest, I wasn't expecting it to be in pole, but you never do know, and that's what I mean. Next race I do, I bet I'm in like 10th place with that same time. Bit pointless the practice session on here, you don't get very far. A warm-up session, should I say. As soon as they come out onto the main straight, mountain straight. Too much understeer again. Need to cue with that mid-corner rather than pick it up and just carry it through all the way. Just losing time with no front end grip. Good place to be first as well, Bathurst. Not the easiest place to follow people or overtake. So if you find yourself a bit lower down, it's incredibly hard to get a good result or make up many positions. Your main chances being Conrod Straight really, after the Forest Elbow tight downhill left hand hairpin with the barriers to collect you on the outside. Always forget the name of this corner. I think this is the Chase. I've always liked Bathurst, or Mount Panorama as it's sometimes referred to. Right, here we go. Rolling start, which helps me out quite dramatically. Otherwise it would have been a real battle into hell corner, which is never good. Side by side through there. So where we go, get a chance to run away down the main straight. Guy behind's obviously got the slipstream, but I've got 0.6 of a second on him, so should be okay into the next corner, as long as I don't break too early and give him any kind of hope. Oh, I've gone a bit deep. I had to jump back on the brakes then after coming off him. So he's got the run on me, but hopefully if I can defend this inside line through the cut-in, which shouldn't be too difficult to do. Just got to keep it neat and tidy, and I've got the position still. He's got nowhere to go really now, all the way up the mountain. So even if he closes right in on the back of me, he's going to struggle to get past. Bad line through there, should have opened up that corner a little bit more. Too late now though. Too bad through the dipper, so I've gained a bit of time on the guys behind now. Like I say, it's hard to follow someone through there, so I've got the advantage definitely going through that part of the track. Being out in front, quick glance behind, and a glance at the top left. I've got a 1.5 second gap, so just try and get my head down now for the next, I've only got 3 laps. So the next 2 laps after this one, and see if we can convert this into a win without too much trouble. You've always got to be cautious at Bathurst, can't get cocky. Can always go wrong in a split second. One tap of the wall and you've lost all that time. One late moment on the brakes and you've lost all that time. Such a punishing track in that regard. Off we go for lap 2 then. Just keeping an eye on the gap to the guy behind, and it keeps growing, so it's always good to see. On the brakes at about the 80 metre mark. Short shifted into 4th there. And it's slowed me down a little bit gaining time up the hill, but there you go. Nice and calm and steady at the same time, so no dramas. A little bit of understeer has turned into there a little bit late, and I had to turn in a little bit sharper than I should have done. Front wheel drive car in the Megane Gr4, so inherent understeer that you get all the time. can't really do much about it. It's just the nature of the way the car is, being front wheel drive. But I don't mind the old front wheel drive cars. I always feel like I can drive them pretty well. A quick glance again, gap coming down a little bit, but hovering around the 2-second mark. So I've done the reasonable job this lap, that tells me. Just kept the gap roughly the same. And so long as they don't get much closer, they're not going to get the slipstream on me down these long straights, which is obviously crucial when you're trying to catch up. Getting the slipstream down these long straights, especially on Bathurst, is a massive advantage. But as long as I can prevent that, 1 lap to go as I come into the last corner and over the line. 1 lap to go, so hopefully that 2-second buffer will be enough. Even if I make a tiny bit of a mistake, it should be enough to hold me out front, unless the guy behind just puts in an absolute belter now. But he's going to have to do something special, I think. So again, feels like I'm short shifting into 4th a little bit early, but you actually look at the time and the delta you're gaining, so maybe it's not early, but it feels like it. Again, just where that gravel starts on the left hand side, using that as a braking marker just after the 100 board. Got the brake balance 2 to the rear, I think, just so there's less work for the front tyres to be doing. They're accelerating, they're doing the steering, and if you put too much front brake balance on, then they're having to do a lot of the braking as well, so you're asking too much of the front tyres, and inevitably it makes you go slower. Car can't handle that much. Quick glance again, up to 2.5 seconds, and I don't need to start worrying about anyone diving from behind or catching me up too closely. Just keep this a bit nice and steady so we don't have any mistakes. And then away we go into the Forest Elbow, this corner. Not the best, but done enough, I think. A few corners left now after this long straight, and then hopefully that's another win on the board. Puts me up to, I don't know, I think I got 60 the other day, so it'll be 61 or 62 or something like that, which is always nice. I'd like to get to the 100 mark one day, but stopped doing loads of races, so you have to do the races to get the wins. So I'm getting back into the daily races recently, so if I carry on I might get to 100 one day, which would be a nice little achievement personally. So that were a relatively easy race for me in a way, just because of the position I started in pole. No dramas from anyone from behind, no dives or anyone that close to me behind the whole race, so that's about as easy and as pleasant a race as you can get for a win. Nice and steady away. But I'm going to do another one and see where, see if we can get a double win, but I doubt it. I'll see where I qualify, but it won't be as high up as that this time. Nice little win, I like it. See what number it is. Is it 61? Yeah, 61 wins. Thought I got to 60. And a clean race as well to go with it, and the pole position. So all in all, a pretty good result from my first attempt. Like I say though, this is the key to it. Get on early. I ain't got a job at the moment, so it gives me the opportunity, but get on early on a Monday morning, and not everyone's had the chance to put in those mega quick laps and get those fast qualifying times and all the rest of it. So I'm going to do another Bathurst, but I am quite intrigued and interested by that C race as well. It's 15 laps, so it's quite a long one. Not the longest track, but it's quite a good track. I like that track in the Group 3s. Anyway, we'll stick with Bathurst. I need to learn to put a better title on my stream so I can switch it up a little bit. I always just get my title wrong, so if anyone watches expecting to see something, they'll end up watching something else if I'm not careful. I should just keep it as daily races rather than saying that it's a certain one. No, it's too late now. Oh, excuse me. Oh, can I? I might be able to change it actually. So if we go to no, if we go to so I've got a bit more time again to qualify again, so if I go to that, can I change the name of it? Probably not. Nope. Right. We'll go again. Try to get an improvement in qualifying and see if we can get 2 wins in a row. That'd be nice. It doesn't happen often. Oh, bad run out of the last corner there. Getting that short shift into 4th, probably not running 3rd gear for quite as long as I should do out of there. We're getting up on that apex curve, which isn't a great idea. Bumps the car around a little bit. Keep short shifting again because I'm getting wheel spinning 3rd. Just automatically the revs go too high. Short shift into 4th and then it just bogs down massively, so it's probably just losing my time every time I keep getting conned by that 3rd gear running out. When really I don't think it has. That's not faster. It can be a weird track, Bathurst. You can almost drive it fast by being slow, just by having control at all times. That sounds a bit odd probably, but it is true. It's a long lap, especially when you know you've got it wrong. It's a really long lap. So 2:13.7, not too bad, but not quicker, crucially. We're not looking for not too bad, we're looking for quicker. Revving that 3rd gear all the way out this time. I'm looking on the delta of actually gained time as well. So definitely the thing to do. Rolling it into the apex more rather than braking as heavily. Trying to take a wide entry into the cut-in to then get back on the power as early as possible without risking going wide on the exit. Keep missing that apex, which is slowing me down a little bit. I could gain a little bit of time through there. And again, probably a little bit more time through there as well to be gained. There's always time to be gained down here, but it's as much as you want to risk it really. It's so hard to do it if you want to do it consistently. I've got a decent run out. I've got an equal run out with my fastest run, so that's not too bad. At least I'm not slowing myself down the straight with a bad run. A couple of corners left to think about now, and I've improved my lap time. Trail brake it all the way to the apex, but I had to. I was going a little bit hot, so I had to hold the brakes heavier than I wanted to, for longer than I wanted to. So not ideal that corner. Managed to get through okay, but not the ultimate speed. Not the best out of the chase either. I think it's called the last corner. Up on my time though overall, but could have been even better still with those last couple of corners being a little bit cleaner. So with that pretty much done for qualifying, I'm going to I have entered the race, yeah. I'll pretty much pull over, roll a quick little smoke for myself, and then get myself ready. But yeah, hopefully that's another pole or somewhere near, obviously. That's the idea of qualifying. You don't qualify for ages to come at the back, even though it's what happens half of the time. That's through no fault of trying. But yeah, it's been... in fact, I've got to back out. There's no point just sitting at the side of the track. Still going to start the race when it starts, so it don't really matter. And I'll have a look at the times again. So I've managed to get myself up there in the friends list with that 2:13. Currently sitting towards the top, but again, not many people have done this, so it makes me look better than I am, because not everyone's on the leaderboard that'll end up doing this through the week. Inevitably, not everyone's got Mondays off, or the chance to do the daily races straight away, so like I say, it does give a bit of a false representation, and it makes you look slightly better than you probably are when you get these kind of results sometimes, but there you go. Anyway, how long have we got left? Where's the top 10 times there as well? So we've got 2:11.6, like I say. In fact, whilst we wait, I'm going to say whilst we wait, we'll watch the fastest guy in the world's lap, but the time's up, so we won't. So this time I've improved my time. Last time I was in first. This time I've just improved my time from my pole position time from last time, and I'm in 7th, so this is how the dailies work. There's a lot of people quick in there. In fact, that guy in first place isn't that far off the quickest guy in the world. Quickest guy in the world had a 2:11.6, and he's got a 2:11.7, so the top two guys in here are really quick. That is a good time, so it'd be nice if I get anywhere near them and get to race against them. I love seeing people who are a lot quicker. It does give you some kind of respect for how good some people actually are. think I've been going down 3 gears into there and just not necessary. 2 gears is enough. Probably get away with just 1, to be fair. Warm-up's nearly over and we're into the start in a second. For the second daily race in a row. But somehow this time starting in 7th, it's a bit more unlikely that I'm going to win this one. So my 2 wins in a row are looking pretty unlikely now. But we'll still give it a good go. 7th isn't the worst place in the world to start. It's certainly one of those tracks where anyone can make a mistake at any point. But with only 3 laps in it, it's not the longest race, so even the most inconsistent driver can keep it together for 3 laps every now and again. So we've got a rolling start. Hopefully we'll get through the last corner before it goes down to 0. And we actually get off for the start. So come on, I don't want to see all. Will I just about get round the last corner? So the guy behind slightly hindered compared to me, and everyone behind him's obviously hindered a lot more because they've got to come through that last corner before we can get the foot down. I lost the braking markers there. Oh no, I lost the braking markers and looked at the wrong marker as though it was the right one, so I broke way too late basically. So that's not done myself any favours. Into Hell Corner, stick to the inside, let everyone drive past, just to be fair to them. I've messed up, why should they suffer? So give myself a fight now, 3 laps to go. On the hard tyre, Bathurst in 14th position from a terrible mistake into T1. Just missed the braking mark I was looking for, and then recognised the next braking marker, which is obviously later into the corner, as the one I was looking for, and by then I was too late on the brakes and I was heading off. So got someone right on my chuff. Not the easiest place to follow through over the top of the mountain. It's given me a good opportunity to have a good race this. So nice close racing in front with the guys. Closing up on the guy in front, but we're nowhere to go through here. This is the issue with Bathurst. You can be faster than the guy in front, but unless he ploughs it into the wall like that, then you're not really going to get past easily. So up into 13th as he makes a mistake. I've got a penalty from cutting the dipper there, which is not good. So it's all going on. The guy in front of me has gone incredibly wide into Forest Elbow. I'm up into 12th, but I'm going to serve my penalty now. So losing all the time down Conrod, guy in front having to do the same. Losing all his time, and another guy in front losing all his time, as he must have had a penalty as well. And you just lose all your momentum down the long straight, which obviously loses you more time than the penalty that you've got. So I had a second penalty there, but no doubt by the end of the straight I've lost like 2.5 seconds probably, or more time than a second anyway. Can I make advantage from these two fighting down the inside of both of them as they both go wide? Yeah, that worked out well. Just sniffed an opportunity as they were battling side by side into there, so long as I can keep it in front into here, should be okay. Running that 3rd gear out, as we found out in qualifying, works out better in the first corner. So we're up into 10th, made a few positions up after the bad start. On the remainder of this lap, going to chase down the guys in front and look to get another position or two. They are quite a way in front at the moment. There's a 4-second gap. See if we can close that in with a decent lap. Going a little bit wide on the exit there, struggling for traction as well. A little bit of a lift as we get turned in there, miss the apex a little bit. No big dramas there. Getting incredibly close to the wall on the exit, but that's what you want to do, scary as it is. Do not want to be turning as we go over that curb though. Bit of a mistake running that wide onto that curb. Whoa, a bit late on the brakes through there. Gathered it up just about nicely. We've caught up to the guys in front a little bit, but not had the cleanest of laps. But 2.5 second gap to the guy in front now. See the guys in front of him as well in 7th and 8th are battling away, so that's good for me. Bit of dust chucked up from the guys in front as well, so they're struggling to keep it going. Tricky is that last corner because you're braking downhill into what is quite a slow corner with an unforgiving exit. Catching up slowly to the guys in front. Got the gap down to less than 2 seconds now, but don't think it's going to be enough unless there's a big mistake to close up on them. If we can gain like I did on the last lap, I suppose we could be right with them on the last couple of corners, but it's going to be hard, especially as they're getting the slipstream over the top of the mountain maybe. Put wide on the exit again there, gathered it up nicely. Just with a little bit of a lift here and there. Just cue that understeer. Catching the guy in front, can I get it by the end of the lap there? That's the question now. I know I'm only fighting for 9th, but I love races like this sometimes. When you're catching the guy in front, it's so rewarding. Don't matter what position you're fighting for really. Could be fighting for 15th. It does matter, but you know what I mean. If you're having a good race, you're having a good race. Especially in these dailies. It's nice to get good results, but it's not always about the winning. Especially if you're going to spend a while sat here racing, you want some decent races. I've got the slipstream on the Audi in front now, but not quite enough. Got a little bit deep on the brakes, so a bit slow on the exit, but I've gained on him again. He definitely knows I'm there, going to the inside to defend, leaving me the outside line, so I'll brake early. He's broke a bit earlier than I expected him to. He's cut right across me, so it's a good job I did back out there. Good little battle, but unfortunately couldn't get it done there in the last corner. So finishing 10th. A lot of McGanns as we can see through that race. Just a McGann fest pretty much. So, notice these races are roughly taking about 20 minutes with the little qualifying session. So, I'm going to go for another one and then call this last one I do, see where I come again though. Do we change cars? I'll stick with them again. I know I like the TT, it's a really good car, but I'll stick with them again. Just try and find more time out of it. There's definitely more time to be made up on the brakes, I think. So play around with the brake balance a little bit. There's no tyre wear to worry about, so it doesn't make any difference. But I think there's a bit of time to be made up on the brakes. Oh, excuse me. Not that it's the hardest of braking on this track, but so we'll do it properly so it actually remembers the settings. I'm gonna go and just put it to 0. See what it's like. Put it back to where it was in the first place. Either that or a lot more to the rear, I think. Let's see if we can nail a good first lap. Slightly slow through hell, it felt like that. Feels like a decent lap so far. Need to make sure I hit these corners nicely, carry the speed. Try and be later on the brakes through there, but it's always a bit sketchy trying it. Can go wrong so easily. Nice turn into Forest Elbow there. Bit slow on the entry, but hopefully gained on the exit. Slow in, fast out. Looking to beat my 2:13. 2:11 would be nice, seeing as they're the quickest guys in the world, they're going that quick. I feel that might be a little bit more out of reach than I think. But 2:12 would be nice, and a low 2:12 would be definitely nice. Picking up the throttle as early as I dare on the exit there, went a little bit deep. It's not going to be a 2:12, 2:13, so it's slower than what I've done so far. Faster out of the first corner this time though. Picked up 0.1 of a second, 10th, and it's still gaining. Need to carry this through the rest of the lap though, that's the problem with Bathurst. There's so many corners and they're all pretty tricky, so you can lose any time you've gained at any point on the track pretty much. It's not like one corner's particularly bad for catching you out, it's the whole track pretty much. It's hard to keep the lap time going through. Wheel spinning a little bit as the front struggles to get traction out of there, out of the cutting. It's the issue with a front wheel drive car around this track, but it is the fastest car on the leaderboard, so it only makes sense to use. But it's pretty much a McGann fest from the races I've had so far. Oh, I chucked it in too early. Chucked it in too aggressively and too early into the dipper there. Got a half a second penalty. That's not good for my qualifying. In fact, I've actually entered qualifying. I've actually entered the race because it hasn't got the time up there. Don't think I have. I've done this before and then missed the race. I think I've just entered qualifying, not the race. So, make sure that we are entered here. I did as well. So it's only 2 minutes. Luckily I just got there. Oh. 3 minutes 40, so I get to put another fast lap in basically. Or try to. I'm going to put the brake balance right to the back and see if that helps at all. I'll do an experiment on with the brakes at the front to put more weight over the front, get more grip into the tyres at the front that are steering. It's a tricky one sometimes. Just trying to use my judgment rather than look it up or use anyone else's setups. Try 5 to the rear, see what the extreme is, and then if that doesn't work I'll flip it up to the front for the race. The best run through T1, but not too bad. It's always hard to tell if you gain time out of there or not. Again, trying to use the brakes slightly differently, braking a little bit later into there, it worked out as well. With the brakes to the rear. A little bit of understeer has turned in pretty badly to the cut in there. Oh, I touched the wall, not great. But over this is an improvement. Not quick enough where I need to be. Be surprised if it is anyway. Is it a 2:12? Yes, just. That's my fastest lap, even though it didn't feel great. I've gone a little bit quicker, not a lot, than my previous qualifying time. And then typically when I'm running out of time I get a really good run out of the first corner, pull away on my ghost. But the race is about to start in a minute. There we go, tiny improvement. Got into the 2:12s, which is always good. Oof, it's only climbed me one place on the leaderboard there, on the start, should I say. But I know just from that last race experience that 6th place again, you don't have to come through that last corner on the start. So luckily I'm high enough to avoid that. But some quick times out there again. The guy in first again with a 2:11.7. The fastest guy in the world's only done a 2:11.6. So incredibly quick, that guy, German guy in first, in the same car as pretty much everyone else in the Megane. So battle of driver rather than car this time round on this daily race, it seems. Everyone picking the Megane more or less. Just looking at the leaderboards, fastest times in the world are in the Megane. Like I say, the fastest time in the world at the moment is a 2:11.6, so incredibly quick compared to what I've done. I'll try and keep improving. Happy that I've got in the 2:12.9 I've just done, so I'm happy I've just done that. So I've got to gain, if I want to beat the fastest guy in the world, I've got to gain a second and a half. which is sounds almost impossible. But I'm going to mess about with the brake balance again, even though I've just gained that time with that one. Put it back to 3 at the rear, I think. So let's see how this third one goes. So we've had a first in the first race, a 10th in the second race, and hopefully somewhere a bit closer to the first that I had in the first race this time. Qualified in 7th in the second race and finished in 10th, so not a great result. Picked up a penalty as well. In fact, I think I had 2 penalties. Get the radar on, ready to go. Make sure the brake balance is right actually. It's gone back. So this is the bit I was on about. I managed just about to get through the last corner before we start here, whereas the people behind all have to come through this last corner, which is no pleasant way to start a race. Especially at Bathurst, it's not a great last corner. It's not like you can just carry the speed through it. Try not to get the braking wrong this time round. Missed my braking marker in race 2 where I couldn't see, and I just messed up the first corner. So I've got a bit of a bad run out of T1 there. Dropped the guy in front's dropped me, should I say. Crucially still sat in his slipstream, but definitely pulled away from me quite a bit there. Try and make it up over the mountain, as he might get caught up with the guys in front and get slowed down a little bit. So always got to try and push it back first until you get up to the guy in front, and then you can ease off a little bit and just try and stick with him until the overtaking opportunity arises. But you need to get up to his bumper to make sure that you get that slipstream down Conrod Straight later down the mountain. So going over the top now, start to drop down. Oof, little moment on the curb there, could have gone a lot worse than it did. Trying to get the braking right for the dipper. Again, we're all in the same car in front, so there's no excuse for pace or anything. It's all just down to who's got the lines and the pace out of the corners, gets the traction down. So in that regard, I quite like races like this, quite an interesting race, and gives you some idea how you compete against these random fast people from around the world. So struggling to keep with the guy in 5th at the moment, and it looks like he's dropped off the guy in 4th a little bit as well, so a bit of work to do to get back into this. Decent through there, but again losing him on the exit a little bit. To hesitate a little bit on the throttle on the exit there. He's going to head wide otherwise with understeer, so I had to wait a bit longer than I would have liked to get back on it. Decent run through hill, although I touched the grass a little bit. It doesn't really affect your line too much or your speed. So I've got the slipstream a little bit more on the guy in front now, but still not making much difference, all being in the same car, and he's got the slipstream from the guy in front of him as well, so we're all carrying the slipstream speed, which means it don't make quite as much difference as it would do if it's just you slipstreaming a guy on his own in front. So guy in 3rd, dropping down into 4th by the look of it there with a bad mistake. Got nowhere to go, but I don't want to ease off, so just hit the bumper of the guy in front, give him a little boost. Kind of got a line going on, but it's so risky down here. Oh, nearly went into the back of him, nearly again, and nearly again. That was incredibly close 3 times there. Didn't touch him once though, but that was close. Whew. So that's how tricky it is to follow through the dipper without going into the back of someone. You're just completely focusing on the bumper in front rather than the actual track. You see that close together. Bad run out of the elbow there. So I caught up, but I caught up at the wrong point in this track, which is a key bit to Bathurst, knowing where you should be close and knowing where you shouldn't. So I messed that up a little bit by getting too close in the wrong point in the track really. Should have held it off and carried the speed where I could and caught up towards Conrod Straight instead. But anyway, we've still got another lap to go. Good racing so far. Let's see what lap 3 brings us. Guy in 3rd, dropping to 4th is the biggest change in that lap, it seems. So again, trying to go get a good run. The guy in 5th there, saw him go a little bit wide, but he's actually carried the speed out nicely. And he's slipstreaming right behind the guy in 4th now. So looking to go side by side as they head into, I'm not sure what this corner's called, but it's slowed one of them down for me to get a run on him. I'm now side by side but on the outside, which isn't a great place to be. Give him a little bit of room at the apex, he's left me to go wisely because we probably would have had contact there. So good driver realising when he's got to give up the race sometimes just to avoid the contact, not because he wants to lose the position. So fair play to him, he kind of let me go through there. Now I've got a chance to chase down the guy in front on this last half a lap of the race. Going down a bit too early on the gears there. Again, tricky to follow someone through there. Got to make sure I get the braking right here for the run on the exit. Unfortunately, I should have really been in 2nd on the exit there, and I was in 3rd, so probably lost a little bit of pace out of the corner. Looks like I'm closing in a little bit on the guy in front, but not enough. Got the run on the guy behind enough to not have to worry too much. Got one last opportunity after this corner into the last corner, so I need to get myself nice and close if I'm going to have a go. Got a slight sniff of it, I'm not quite close enough really. All being in the same car, to expect to outbrake someone massively is just a bit too much of an ask. Got the run on him though, he's defended, I've hit his bumper and he's got 4th place there. If I'd have got side by side, would I have got past him maybe? I don't think I would have done to the line there. But wise move from him, making me hit his bumper, and I couldn't quite get the run past him, or try to. So all in all, finished 3 seconds down on the leader, which isn't too bad considering his lap time, and he's actually finished in 2nd as that guy who had the ridiculous qualifying time. With a close race with the guy in 1st by the look of it. So yeah. Anyway, that's about it. We'll watch to see where everyone else finishes, and it all finishes and all that jazz. So up 1 position in the end, starting in 6th, finished in 5th. It was a good race. It felt like I did a bit more than that, but 15th on my car, so that's a nice little DR for me. So yeah, good racing that. 2nd race didn't work out quite as well, but other than that, yeah, some decent racing. So thank you very much for watching, especially if you've got this far through and stuck with me. And yeah, not a lot else to say. Hopefully see you again soon, and take care, have a go yourself, see how you do. Decent races out there, I really enjoyed that. So take care, and yeah, hopefully you'll join me again soon.